Hey guys, Dan with DAKboard. Today, we'll be going over custom screens in your DAKboard account. So, let's jump into it. So once you log into your DAKboard account, you'll see two different screen types. You'll see the predefined screen and you'll see the custom screen. So a custom screen is a completely customizable way to create your screen using our simple drag drop editor. And for this, we'll set up a simple screen with a background, weather, photos, and maybe a news feed. When you first load up the screen, you'll notice there's no content on the screen. So we'll first want to add some content. So click on the Add a Block button, and we'll select the nature and landscape photos included with DAKboard. Click on the block to select it, and we'll drag that to resize it and fill up the whole screen. This will be our background photo layer. Click on the Edit button or double click to edit it. We'll make sure the source is set correctly. We'll want it to rotate through the past month of photos. Click on the Settings tab and we'll go through the settings. We'll have it change the photos every 5 minutes. We'll leave the brightness as is. The style can crop to fill the whole screen, which is what we want. And lastly, you'll see a Schedule tab. So using this, you can schedule blocks to turn on and off at various times throughout the day. We'll leave this block on all the time. Save our changes. Next, we'll add a date time block. This will show the time on the screen. Click it to select it, drag it to resize it a little bit larger, and we'll edit that. Here you can set the time format, the date format, time zone. You can also set the font, the text size, color, alignment. You can set a background color or a gradient if you wanted something behind your text. And you can also give it a title. Again, we'll see the schedule option here. We'll leave that as is. Save our changes. And next we'll click the Add Block button again, and we'll add a weather block. We'll select Dark Sky Weather, and we'll drag this down near the bottom here, and again make it a little bit larger. And click the Edit button to edit this. We'll use the condensed view here to make it a little bit smaller and fit nicely in the corner. We'll leave the location and everything as is for this. Again, formatting tab, we have the same options, and schedule, same thing. We'll leave everything as is. And lastly, we'll add a news block to have a news feed scroll across the bottom. So we'll add the news. We'll bring this down to the bottom, click on it to select it, and resize it across the bottom of the screen. Edit that. So for the news or RSS block here, we'll need to add in an RSS URL. We'll use the BBC example provided. So copy this, Control or Command C, and then Control or Command V to paste. And on the Settings tab, we'll want to change that to scrolling. Medium is fine for the scroll speed, and we'll have it show the source and the publish time. Save our changes. So once we have the screen set up pretty close to how we think we want it, click the Preview button in the upper right. And this will give us a view of what the screen will look like. So here we can see the RSS news feed is a little bit small. So we'll go back in, edit that block, and make the text a little bit larger. Go to the Formatting tab, and we'll bump that up to large. Save changes, preview the screen again, and that looks a little better. So now we can see the text is scrolling across the screen. We have our weather, we have our time. Our background photos will change every 5 minutes. So over on the right side of the screen, you'll see the block layers section. This is useful for if some of the blocks are hidden behind another block. For example, say the photo block was on top of everything else. I have no way to get to my daytime or weather block to edit those. We can use this Block Layers tab to either click on it and then double click to edit, or click the More Actions button there to duplicate or delete the block. Or lastly, we can click and drag and reorder our blocks. So we can bring everything on top of the photos. And now as I'm doing that, you can see the blocks start to appear on top of the photos. So now we can click on these blocks to edit them. In addition to the layout editor here, we have the Settings and Defaults tab. In here is a whole bunch of settings that we can tweak for our screen, including the aspect ratio, the orientation if you want to make it landscape or portrait. There's the private URL here, which if you're not using a product purchase from us, you can copy and paste this URL into any browser and display your DAKboard screen without having to log in. We can change the language of the screen, we can change the defaults, we can change the font, the text size, the time zone, and the time format if you want a 12 or 24-hour time. If you already have a device that you're using to display your DAKboard screen on, and you've made some changes in your DAKboard account, you'll need to refresh those displays that are showing your DAKboard screens. So in the upper right, there's this More Actions button, and you'll see in here Refresh Displays. So clicking that will trigger any connected displays to refresh and start showing your screen with the latest changes that we've just made. So if this is a new screen you're setting up, you'll want to assign that to a display. So in the left menu, click on Displays and Devices. Here should be listed a display or device that's already showing your content. If you don't already have something set up, you can click the Add button to add a product you've purchased from us, or you can add your own device. So we'll click the More Actions button over on the right and choose Assign a Screen. And we'll want to pick the screen that we were just working on, which is the landscape screen in this case here. So we'll select that, save our changes. And within a minute or two, your screen should update and start showing the contents of this screen here. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. And if you ever run into any problems or have other questions, you can always contact us at contact@DAKboard.com. And we have our support site set up with a lot of information there. And that can be found at DAKboard.com/support. Thanks for watching.